Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum to engineers and researchers and teachers who come to this exciting conference to study and to share the ideas on innovation for sustainable development. I am very honored to speak today in front of you to sort of open this conference with some exciting new topic. That is a material that is now making a revolution in solar energy conversion. And I want to introduce it to you today. But importantly, I want to speak in general why we need solar energy. So, if we look at our Earth from the skies, from space, this was taken by a Texas astronaut, Sunita Williams. It is blue and beautiful and full of clean water and fresh air. And we want to keep it like that, to sustain. At night, when last night I was supposed to fly from Dallas towards Malaysia through Hong Kong, and that was a mistake because flight to Hong Kong was delayed and canceled. And I am not with you. But modern methods allowed me to do the videographing with my wife's help, and my little son, who is PhD in Stanford, who was supposed to fly with me, but I am not there now. He was more lucky, he flew from Singapore, and Singapore was full of light. Next one. You see, all these areas at night, they shine, and that is because so much energy is spent, and even more energy is dissipated. So this is a problem. Malaysia is also shining day and night, and a lot of energy is needed for that. How much energy? We will discuss that later, but if you look at the Earth in the scale of sun, you will see that even it is so far, 165,000 terawatts of energy is hitting the Earth every second. And that is huge amount of energy. This is the list of the humanity's top 10 problems, which was created by Texan Nobel Prize laureate Richard Smalley when he got his Nobel Prize and started working on new materials for energy conversion. He found and discussed that energy is number one problem. Next problem is water, and then food, and environment, and so on. There are many problems, but energy is always number one, because if we have energy, it is possible to have clean water, it is possible to create food, clean environment. So these four is what is sustainability about. That is what you want to do innovations for. To keep energy, water, food, and environment going continuously, which is sustainability. How we are going to do that? There is a special organization that takes care of energy for sustainable development. You can look at the website, and they actually always stress that of 7 billion population of the Earth, 2 billion people have no electricity, and 2 billion are poor, they do not have even heat, and everything that is coming from sun can be actually used for these and other people's. Next one. So this is the outline of my talk today. It is made of two parts. First, I will discuss in more detail so that you better understand. Do we need solar power conversion? Maybe what we have already is enough. And then we will study the physics of it, the photovoltaic effect and photovoltaic devices. Then I will introduce this magic new material, which is called organic and organic hybrid perovskites, the solar cells divided, made of them, and what we do in my group, in several projects, one in Russia. We try to create new functionalities of these devices. We call it dual function, or new type of architectures for devices, which are not made by usual material. So this picture I put because it shows that wiring that brings light to all that lights which I showed before. Now electricity is produced not by sun. We want it by sun. But how much energy we are consuming on the earth? Everyone uses computer, but the power there is small. It's in the scale of 1 to 10 watts. Bigger machines, appliances, they use kilowatts. Airplanes and other bigger machines use megawatts. Big plants, big industrial developments, they use gigawatts. And the scale of the earth is on the scale of terawatts of energy, which is 10 to the 12th power. Of all this, how much total we use? Total for the population of the earth, which is about 6.8 or 7 billion people, and in 2050 it will grow to 10 billion, the energy consumption is 15 terawatt. And if we compare it to what was coming from sun, and this is the technical value of the sun power, it's about 90,000, and this is only 15. So it is like 10,000 times more, basically, 5,000 times more. But where all this energy is coming today? Today, 85% of energy is coming from the fossil fuels, oil, coal, gas. And then some small amount is coming from renewables, hydraulic, nuclear, biomass. And very small, about less than 1% is coming from solar heat, wind, and a little bit from solar photovoltaics, even less than that. It's a fraction of percent. What is the problem with the fuel cells? The problem is that for every barrel of discovered, and this is how the oil is discovered, the new discoveries become smaller and smaller. So for every barrel, we spent 2 barrels. This is the consumption. Consumption and discoveries go opposite way. This is the most important problem. So we need to use renewables. And all the renewables, wind, geothermal, we can estimate them. This is very optimistic estimate of wind and geothermal. This is maybe more, less optimistic, but more realistic estimate. So we need 15 terawatts, right? But it's growing. Soon we will need 20 and 30. And wind can bring only 14 terawatt. In fact, it is enough for today's earth consumption. Biomass, 7 terawatts, not that much. And geothermal, only about 2 terawatts. Hydraulic is even smaller. Even many nations are using hydraulic. Ocean currents, even less. And solar, technical value, I showed you, is between 10 to 90,000 terawatts. So we can say that it is endless source. How big it is shown by this beautiful graph, which I love to show. Because the big cube shows how much solar energy coming to Earth in 1 year. And all these little cubes is what we have on the Earth left. There is no more than this. Whatever we have, coal is here. It's only a little part of that big thing coming from oil. Oil, natural gas resources, even uranium from atomic power stations is small. And this little cube is how much humanity uses every year. That is this 15 terawatts. You can see that this is going to finish because we keep eating a little cube of it and it will disappear soon. Next one. So we are like these people who are having a happy life, but they are burning the energy resources. And what they will do, they will sink. So it is not sustainable, it is not what we want. We want sustainability, and the only hope is the sun. Because there is no other source, everything will be burned eventually. So, I'm from Texas, originally from Uzbekistan, which also was full of oil and gas in old days. But Texas, it has been and it always be the energy state. And energy generates $500 billion business. It is a big deal. And right now it is based on Texas oil, Texas gas, but Texas is developing windmills, wind energy. It's #1 country in the world developing in tens of gigawatts windmill, and solar energy is now being strongly pushed in Texas. So this is what one should do for sustainability, because even having lots of oils and being #1, one should think about the future. And Malaysia, I was surprised when I started learning about energy problems in Malaysia. Malaysia is doing great on new technologies for energy. As you may know, of course, Malaysia is #2 in the technology for liquid propane gas. This is the new technology when the gas is liquefied, compressed, and can be used as a clean energy much better than oil. Who is the #1 country? Qatar. So, Malaysia, to my opinion, is doing absolutely great, but what is it doing for solar energy? Will it become a solar energy state? Because as I showed you, it is #1 among renewable sources. Hopefully with your innovative approach, maybe you will use this new type of materials, and perovskite, if they will be stabilized and improved, can be one of them. So let's turn to that. So, will it be enough to use solar panels even with small 10% efficiency? Right now the efficiency of standard solar panels is about 20%. Let's say they're twice less efficient. Having a little area in the desert of Sahara can provide half of the energy depending on how much territory we occupy. If you take fraction of percent, can produce energy enough to cover all the needs of Germany, 40% of the needs. 7.6% of Sahara, okay, percentage of total area, will produce nearly 50% of the world's consumption in 2030. But you may say how we use that energy from Sahara. Therefore, we can distribute it in different countries more uniformly, occupying only 0.16% of land in Texas or Arizona, other places, and a little square in Malaysia can probably produce 1 terawatt of solar energy. So let's do it. What is the problem? Why we cannot do it? What stops us? This is the list which was recently published by 4 national academies of United States. We have a National Academy of Science, Engineering, Medicine, and they published the Grand Engineering Challenge, not scientific, engineering challenge. They unveiled them. #1 is make solar energy affordable. Because it is not affordable. With every existing and developed technology, it is still very expensive. Next one. And this is the vision of the innovative solar cell of the future. It should be just like a paint. You can paint your roof, and that will be producing electricity instead of growing silicon single crystals, doping and doing that. Okay, so, and these types of paint already exist, but the efficiency is very, very low. So what happened, and I will discuss today, accidentally new material was discovered where the efficiency was increased nearly 10 times compared to all these existing paints. Next. And where the paints can be used, paints will change the landscape of how we use the energy. Solar windows, I will describe that type of new technologies. They can be integrated into the buildings. Solar farms, the clothing, textiles, transportation, because this paint will be light and easy to conformably coat. Next one. And this is an overview of efficiencies. We always speak about efficiency of these materials, as I told you. So, the most efficient solar cells, which are here, they are most expensive. $10,000 for square feet, because they are triple junctions, they're used in space. Classical silicon junctions cost about $1,000 for the big panel. And this is our blue curve. But look how slowly the efficiency was increasing from something like 15% to the level of 22% in nearly 50 years. This is very slow.